Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Good morning to those who are gathered here in the sanctuary and to all who are joining online today. We begin this morning with a musical prelude by John Mayhood. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Charlottesville. My name is Jason Woodson, and my pronouns are he, him, and I'm pleased to be leading worship this morning with Reverend Tim Timerson, music director Scott DeVoe, accompanist John Mayhood, and the fabulous UUCville Choir. The sanctuary was built over 70 years ago on the homeland of the Monacan people and was once cared for by enslaved people from Africa and their descendants. We honor all who have dwelt here and all in our congregation whose lives led to this moment of our gathering. I invite us to take a moment to greet others. Those online may unmute, and those here in the sanctuary or social hall are welcome to greet your neighbors, especially those you may not know.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We offer a special welcome to newcomers and invite you to join us for fellowship after the service in the social hall. Please use one of our red mugs and join us for conversation at the newcomer table, which has a red tablecloth. And UUCville members and friends are reminded to offer a warm welcome to anyone with a red mug. There is a live stream of the service in the social hall, And while everyone is welcome here in the sanctuary, the social hall can be a good option if you need a roomier space. Many thanks to all the folks helping us share worship both here and online, our greeters, ushers, and hospitality teams, and special thanks to our AV Tech team led by Rachel Buckland. And now we have a greeting from board member Bev Ryan.
Good morning. It is so beautiful outside and the grounds are so lovely. I think maybe some people are still sitting out there enjoying it. Yeah, great crowd. I bring you greetings from the Board of Trustees. I'm the Vice President on the board. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about our congregational meeting, and probably somebody else will talk about it too, but we're approaching our annual congregational meeting. It's usually held at the beginning of June. It will be June 8th after the service. And the board's in the process of fine-tuning the agenda. We'll be electing a new president and treasurer, and we'll have some at-large members that we're also electing. And the other committees that have elected members are personnel and the nominating committee. Also, the board's will be busy looking at the new budget. We're still, I think, fine-tuning that, and we'll be looking at it before our next board meeting to make sure that it's what we think is the best budget that we can come up with. And I think it's going to be a really good budget. I sound like Trump. This budget was developed with input from finance, from our treasurer, from ministry, and personnel committees, and I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out, but this congregation has the final say about the budget. So you are the ones who will vote yay or nay for this budget. If you've not stopped by the table that has budget information before the June 8th meeting, please do. Get to know what the budget is so you kind of know what you're voting for. And please, please, please attend our meeting. There'll be an opportunity to voice your opinion at the meeting, and friends and new members are welcome, but only members of at least 30 days are allowed to vote. Thank you. That's exciting.
Thank you, Bev. Here are this morning's announcements. Join us for a Mother's Day brunch in the social hall offered by our youth who will be participating in the Appalachia Service Project this summer. The menu will include soup, bread, salad, mac and cheese, and dessert for the bargain price of $7. Help support our high school youth as they prepare for their summer service trip. The UU Christian Fellowship will be meeting in the parlor today from 12:30 to 1:45. Jean Newland will be leading us on the theme of joy, including exploring how happiness and joy compare. Join us. Postcarding under the trees. Want to sit under the trees, enjoy some socializing, and at the same time help our democracy? Then join Flame and Raven outside the social hall after the service to write postcards encouraging Virginians to vote. All are welcome.
Thank you, Jason. Good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. In addition to Mother's Day, today is Music Sunday here at the UU Congregation of Charlottesville, and we begin with words from Arlen Goff. Music arises from depths unknown, often without words, but never without meaning.
Spirit also rises from deep within, leading our bodies to join the song. First, a tremor in the soul, then tapping of toes. Breath aligns with breath, heart beats in syncopation, and an uncertain buzz in the throat becomes a hum.
A melody joining with other souls, perhaps in tune, perhaps not, but a song arising from deep within and from community.
Spirit moves soul births song, and hope fills life. And we are not alone. How can we keep from singing?
Amen.
I now invite Keith and Sammy to light our flaming chalice. And will you please join in saying our chalice lighting words? We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. And then with the hand motions, this is your matchbook. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is a church of open minds. This is a church of helping hands. This is a church of loving hearts.
So what we're doing now is kind of a hymn, not a hymn that you probably have ever sung before, but fairly easy to learn. What I want you all to do is to first of all sing the hymn with us. We're going to sing through it twice just to make sure everybody knows it. And then we're moving into the piece and continue singing the hymn. The choir will then do stuff around you and with you. But let's just give it a try here. We've got the words. We have the words up there yet? Not quite. Here we go. So you can see this comes from Audre Lorde. It's fairly straightforward. Let's try singing it. Here we go. In our world, divide and conquer must become divine and empower. I'm going to repeat that now. In our world, divine and conquer must become divine and empower. And a new little section here. Divine and empower. Repeat that. Divine and empower. Back to the beginning. In our world, divide and conquer must become divine and empowered. Let's sing it again. In our world, divide and conquer must become divine and empowered. In our world, divide and conquer must become divine and empower. Divine and empower. Divine and empower. In our world, divide and conquer must become divine and empower. In our world.
Well, that was amazing. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, choir. And thanks for all of you for joining the choir this morning. That was really, really beautiful. So nothing like a good team effort. So now we are going to invite our children to go off to children's worship. So and children's worship, of course, is held in the parlor. Parents, remember, those of you whose children are going to children's worship, make sure you pick them up in the parlor at 12:15. So let's now sing our children out to children's worship. I'd like to now share with you a blessing for all the mothers, written by my colleague Linda Susan Ulrich. For all the mothers and mother figures, the grandmothers, aunts, and extended family members who mother, the soon-to-be mothers, the wish they were mothers, the never wanted to be mothers, the it's complicated mothers, the birth mothers, the foster mothers, adoptive mothers, stepmothers, the used to be dad mothers, and more than one mom mothers, the single mothers, separated mothers, stay-at-home mothers, unhoused mothers, the grieving mothers, those who grieve their mothers, and those whose grief is complicated. For all the communities that mother, and for all who depend on the Great Mother, you are held and beloved. Amen. We are an interconnected community that cares for one another. Part of how we embody this care is by making time each week to share the joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts. In honor of all of our joys and sorrows, everyone is now invited to come forward as you wish and place a glass stone in a communal bowl of water as a symbolic act of each being held by the larger love that holds us all. All are welcome to participate, including those who are brand new to our congregation. If you have come through our doors for the first time and would like to be part of this ritual, you are most invited and welcome to do so. And as always, those online may type their joys or sorrows into the chat. As you will see, there are two baskets of stones, one at the back and one of the sanctuary and one at the front by the front pews. Take a stone or stones from whichever basket is closest to you. When you have your stone, feel free to come down the center aisle or down the side aisles and make your way to the bowl of water on the table in front of the chancel. It'll be there in just a second. No need to form a line. Simply come forward as you are so moved. Take your time. There's plenty of room for everyone. Patty Wallens from our pastoral care team will come forward to help hold the space. Patty will be available for a few minutes after the service in the back corner right over there in the sanctuary if you were in need of support or just want someone to listen today. Those online can contact the pastoral care team at pastoral@uucharlottesville.org. Let us begin.
This community offers its love and support to what is closest to our hearts. Another way we show our care for one another is in sharing our financial gifts with our community and our congregation. Our social action collection for the month of May is for the Central Virginia Community Justice. In addition to giving online, if you would like to make a donation with cash or check, please use the social action collection envelopes here in the sanctuary and place them in the collection plate. Please make checks out to the UU Congregation of Charlottesville and write Social Action Collection in the memo line. We also invite you to generously support the ministries and mission of UUCville. Through your pledges and the weekly Sunday morning offering, together, our financial gifts support our congregation and enable us to put love into action. This is our shared ministry. During the music that follows, you can offer your financial support by using the text address or going to our website. You may place cash or checks in the collection plates as they are passed. Let us now dedicate all of the many gifts we share with one another by saying, "We accept your gifts with gratitude. May we use them wisely for the highest good." Our reading is called Playlists of the Spirit by Reverend Connie Simon. Doe, a deer, a female deer. Many of us instantly recognize that as the first line of the song Do Re Mi from The Sound of Music. You might even be able to picture Julie Andrews, Maria, telling the Von Trapp children that these notes are the tools we use to build a song. Once you have these notes in your head, you can sing a million different tunes by mixing them up, after which, of course, she bursts into song. Within 3 minutes, they're all harmonizing and parading through the streets and waterways of Salzburg, having a good old time. I know it's corny, but it's true. Think of all the music you know, every song you've ever sung, or danced to, or heard on the radio. Every single one of them is a different arrangement of the same notes. Using the power of imagination, composers have mixed these notes up in a gazillion different ways to express a multitude of emotions. No matter how I'm feeling, happy or sad, sick or well, fragile or unbreakable, loved or unloved, I turn to music. Music is my solace and my comfort, the one thing that's always with me. I feel its vibration deep in my soul. It's my spiritual practice. Music can calm me, excite me, and sometimes its beauty even moves me to tears. I have playlists for exercising, celebrating, mourning, driving, house cleaning, and some for just being. From Bach to James Brown, there's an arrangement of those notes for every occasion in my life, including the hard times. Music tells the story of my life. I recently went through a really rough patch. I was recovering from an accident and still trying to keep up with school and my other responsibilities. I felt out of control and lost. Once again, music saved me. I played quiet, soothing music when it hurt to move. I sang inspirational gospel songs for encouragement when I began to stretch my sore limbs. Today, I listen to thumping hip-hop as I work my muscles back into shape. I'm forever grateful for my music, those do-re-mis that fill my soul and provide the playlist for my life. So Reverend Tim asked me this morning to speak for a couple of minutes about what music means to me. And that was a dangerous thing because I am Southern. I have a tendency to ramble and go on, but I'll try to keep it brief. Webster's 1913 dictionary defines music as the science and the art of tones or musical sounds, i.e. sounds of higher or lower pitch, begotten of uniform and synchronous vibrations as of a string at various degrees of tension, the science of harmonical tones, which treats of the principles of blah, blah, blah. Does anyone in here not know what music is? It's not that scientific, technical definition. To me, music is what makes my heart sing, as odd as it is and as contradictory as that sounds. I have been in love with music since I was a child. And I remember prior to fourth grade sometime, Anita Hershey coming into the church I grew up in and playing her trumpet. And that was it. When I got to band, I was going to play trumpet. And by gosh, I played that trumpet. I played in band in elementary school, middle school, high school. I played with the Charlottesville Municipal Band. It's under a different name now for a while. I've been in choirs at a couple of different churches. I've been in quartets. I've done solo stuff. Nothing professional, believe me. But it's been something that has made me happy. It has made me feel fulfilled. As I reflected on the reading this morning, I realized that many years ago I went through a very similar rough patch to what the author said. I had a car accident. Music saved me. It was a long road to recovery, and there were times that I thought, I cannot get any more past this pain. This is too much. I need to do something. And so I would put on some music. I would sing along. I'd take my pain meds. And after a while, that pain would start to go away. And yes, the meds helped. But it was the music that really helped. I have a vast playlist that I enjoy listening to, whether I'm coming to church, whether I'm taking a trip across the mountain, that just brings me joy. Sometimes the songs are sad, sometimes the songs are happy, but they all have that rhythm, that meaningfulness to them. I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody else or it's just to me, but I hope that you find your music, and I hope that you find joy in it, hope you find peace and comfort in it. And if you ever think that you're singing out of tune, remember what the psalmist David wrote: make a joyful noise.
Thank you, Jason. Beautiful, much appreciated. You had all these qualifications you're working on. I asked you to be the worship weaver, and then I said, oh yeah, and can you preach a little too? And man, you just did it. Great, wonderful, wonderful job. So I didn't prepare anything today, so I just want to talk for a couple minutes, and then since we have some time, I thought I would create some space for those of you who are so moved to share a sentence or two about what music means to you. But before I do that, there's a couple of quotes, one of which I used for today's service, for the title of today's service, that I wanted to share with you from Kurt Vonnegut. Are there any Vonnegut fans out there? So, yeah. Now, Unitarian Universalism has claimed Kurt Vonnegut as a UU. He's a fairly well-known sort of agnostic atheist. And I don't know if he ever set foot in a UU congregation or not, but what a deeply profound, what a great writer, but also just a great, great thinker and soul. He spoke exceptionally well and eloquently about the impact of music. So I wanted to share a couple of quotes with you from Vonnegut. Here's one, kind of theological. If I should ever die, and he has passed away, God forbid, let this be my epitaph. The only proof he needed of the existence of God was music. The only proof he needed of the existence of God was music. Now, the second quote, which again I used part of for the title of today's service, and I think when I start the quote, you'll hear why it speaks to me in this particular moment in time. He said, "No matter how corrupt, greedy, and heartless our government, corporations, media, religious or charitable institutions may become, music will still be wonderful." Do you see why that speaks to me in this particular moment? And I have to say, that is just, in my own life, that has been so very true. It's almost as if no matter how deep the darkness feels, how broken my heart may be, that music has the ability to at least center and calm me so that I can at least become aware of where I'm at, what's in my heart. And yes, that does begin me down a path of healing. I also will just say I love to write to music. Not write music, can't do that. But when I will always put something on my phone, something from my playlist, when I'm working on a sermon. And nothing with words. God knows what my sermons might end up with if I was listening to lyrics. But just something soft, something quiet. And it somehow, again, helps me, I think, to listen to what my heart is what my heart and my mind are telling me that I want to say. So that's been music for me. It is music for me. And yes, indeed, music, no matter what, will still and always be wonderful. So let me just climb down from here and ask if anybody would like to raise your hand and give us your sentence or two, your Vonnegut-esque sentence or two about what music means to you. Just raise your hand. Doesn't have to be eloquent, doesn't have to be Nobel Prize winning. What does music mean to you? Katya.
So to me, it's a way to keep me connected to my ancestor. My grandma was a closet opera singer, and my mom was a jazz singer. And so every time I sing, they're with me. So that's what music is for me.
So for those of you on Zoom, Katya said, and I'll just summarize, that music connects her to her ancestors, to her grandmother, and it centers her and helps her to feel connected to those who mean so much to her in her life. Frank, now I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I think the definition maybe closer to what you were getting at, Jason. I was inspired by something I read, but I don't know what it was. But it is that music is that which awakens in me when I hear the notes.
Nice.
And also the connection. I play piano and I'm playing for my grandmother. She just loved to be able to sit down and listen.
So music is what awakens in you when you hear the notes. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, in the back. Christine?
As someone who just enjoys a lot of music, I enjoy playing some music at home, nothing crazy. It's a very pure form of expression, but also I feel like in these times, I am reminded of how a lot of resistance movements have used music as a form of protest and resistance, and how powerful that
Music is among what the things you said, music has been such an inspiration and form of inspiration for protest movements and how important that is in this time we find ourselves in. Yes?
I think many of you know Greta Moran Kirchner, but what you might not know about her is that she voluntarily assumed the duties of mother to 3 teenage boys, which I think is the bravest act any human has ever been. And I was one of those boys, and I was, at that age, very hard to reach. But particularly in the car on long drives, she used music to reach me.
Nice. Thank you so much. Wonderful testimonial to our beloved Greta. Yes, indeed. Yay, Greta. Thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely. Jill?
You were talking about being in the car. When my father died, I was driving back and forth to university, and I found myself listening to classical music, and I thought, music knows what the next note will be, even when you don't know your next note. And it gives me a certain certainty to listen to some of the classics, and it reaches my heart.
Thank you, Jill. Music, Jill says, music knows the next note even when you're not, when you don't know what it is. That's really beautiful. There are some Vonnegut types in this congregation, I have to say. Nancy.
So I'm going to connect music and mothering. When I became a mother of twins at 45, my head was so crowded, I didn't have space for music. And for years, obviously Scott plays music, but it was kind of like at the periphery. There just wasn't room for it. And when I saw the Bob Dylan biopic, I was just so in love with that music and that movie. And since then, I've been trying to make space for it. And also my kids are older and there's room. I love music. I'm really happy to be back.
Thank you, Nancy. Nancy has been now at a time in her life when she can make space for music and was particularly spurred by the Bob Dylan biopic. So wonderful. Yes. Hi. Wonderful. Music is a connector. Yes, Flame.
Nancy woke something up, a memory for me about mothering. My mom, like probably not unlike some people, is this Mother's Day, like wrought with a lot of mixed messages of, pain and love. And she sang to me a lot for comfort or help me to sleep or cheer me up. And there was a jovialness. And it's a place that I can always tune into again, that silly, playful, comforting. And I gave that to my children too, as a ritual, like almost every night at bedtime. And I sometimes forget that. And I have a fabulous partner who sings a lot and sings to me. I'm very blessed.
Yes, thank you. Building on Nancy's message of music and mothering, and the memories of being sung to as a child. Tasha.
I think music and mothers, one of my very favorite memories of my mom, who passed away many years ago in '89, is her dancing. She would put on these 1920s, 30s music, like really, really old, and then she'd be sitting and dancing all around the kitchen.
Oh.
She would be like totally animated, and I just remember sitting there laughing and loving it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't know. It was for essence.
Music and memory and how it gets us moving and dancing, absolutely. Gail.
My mother was an opera singer, so I grew up
Music and ironing? Maybe. How about one more, Estelle?
Well, I can say that I wouldn't be here without music because my parents met at an outdoor band concert. Music has been an important part of my life ever since, and I've sung with Charlotte Women's Choir for the last 40 years, and discovered the joy of conducting, which I did with them occasionally, and so many ways music is, I can't imagine my life without it.
So let's see, Estelle. Music and the creation of Estelle? Very nice. Thank you all so much for sharing those beautiful, beautiful thoughts. And I'm really glad I decided today to share the sermon with Jason and with all of you. So wonderful. So let's now rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, which is number 326, Let All the Beauty We Have Known. The lyrics will be on the screen. Please rise. Our closing words come from Reverend Don Cooley. Let us go out into the world singing. Let us go out into the world singing songs that proclaim liberty and justice, songs that turn ashes into garlands, songs that bind up the afflicted and those who mourn, songs that, like oaks, have roots that go deep and stand strong.
Let us go out into the world singing. We know these songs, they vibrate through time in our very souls. They are the songs that give us life. They are the songs that give us meaning. They are the songs that give us purpose. Now it is our turn to take these life-giving songs out into the world.
Let us go now, singing these songs with voices deep and strong.
And may the world join us in praise and in celebration and in love.
Amen. Go in peace. Please remember to join us for the wonderful lunch in the social hall, and have a wonderful, blessed Mother's Day. And remember, always keep those notes singing in your heart. Amen.